Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to another version of Talk Leadership with Cedrick. I am excited to be here with you tonight. And Talk Leadership with Cedrick is a show where we introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. We're talking with business leaders, educators, local thought leaders, and our goal is to help you grow through the show. Our guiding leadership principle is the law of contribution, which says growing yourself enables you to grow others. So you can't give what you don't have. So first, you must grow yourself as a leader. And I'm excited that tonight we're going to help you grow as a leader. So stand by, stay tuned, and be engaged with us tonight. Talk Leadership with Cedrick starts right now. Yes. Tonight is going to be a good night on the show. And I want to start off with a good story just to get you in the mood for some growth and some learning. It's just going to be me tonight, folks. Now, let me tell you what. See, when you make a mistake, you have an option. Either you can falter to that mistake, or you can say, I'm going to build on that and I'm going to keep going. So I had a guest scheduled for tonight, but they're not supposed to be here until a couple of weeks from now. So we had our dates mixed up. It was all my fault. But I said, you know what? We're going to have a show anyway, because my audience deserves that. So I'm going to start off with this funny story. It's about the fisherman. You know, this rich industrialist from the north was horrified to find a southern fisherman just leisurely laying in his boat. And he says, why are you not fishing? And the fisherman said, because I've caught enough fish for the day. He says, why don't you catch some more fish? It's what the fisherman asked, the industrialist asked the fisherman. He says, then what would I do with them? He said, well, you can earn more money. You could also take those fish and earn the money and put a new motor in your boat. You can go into deeper waters. You can catch more fish. Then you would have enough money to buy nylon nets, and this could bring you more fish and more money. And soon you would have enough money to buy 2 boats, maybe even a fleet of boats. Well, the fisherman looked at him and he said, well, okay. And the industrialist said, well, then you would be a rich man like me. And the fisherman said, well, what would I do then? He said, then you could enjoy your life. Well, the fisherman looked at him and he said, sir, what do you think I'm doing right now? You see, folks, don't be too quick to judge. That's the message there. Now, tonight I want to talk with you about a very good topic. Good to great. You know, Jim Collins wrote this book, Good to Great. He says, why some companies make the leap and others don't. Now, we can take that same concept on a personal level. Why do some people make the leap from good to great and some people don't? Now, if you want to understand this tonight, and if you want to take yourself from good to great, then you're going to stay tuned in and you're going to chime in. You might throw a question to me, right? I might have something to give away to you. So let's see who gets engaged tonight. I just want to talk a little bit about going from good to great. Now, the big question is, can a good company or could a good person make the transition to be great? And if so, how can they do it? All right. Now, we're going to talk about this tonight, how you can go from good to great in your life, in your personal life, in your business life, in your social life, in your relationship, in every area of your life. You can go from good to great. We're going to talk about that tonight. Right? So You know, in the book Good to Great, Jim Collins does a really good job of putting together a lot of research data. I'm not going to talk with you about all the research data, right? Because that doesn't make that is just that's going to be boring for everybody, right? It's going to be boring for me talking about it. But see, good is the enemy of great, and is not a business problem. Good is the enemy of great is not a business problem. It's a human problem. You have to understand that. See, greatness is not a function of circumstance. Greatness, it turns out, is largely a matter of a conscious choice that you make. Each and every one of us makes a conscious choice if we want to be good or if we want to be great. You know, a good friend of mine said something on Facebook earlier today, and he asked the question, what's the difference between busy and productivity? You know, a lot of people are busy. A lot of people are busy doing a whole bunch of stuff. But are you productive? See, great people are productive. Good people are busy. So which are you? Good or are you great? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Am I good or am I great? Do I want to be good or do I want to be great? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And let me tell you what, folks, when you decide you want to be great, nothing or no one can stop you. It doesn't matter what they're doing, what they say, or anything like this. They can't stop you. So you just need to understand this. Now I'm going to talk about these 5 levels of leadership that Jim Collins talks about in the book. See, at the time of their big transition, all good to great companies, all good to great people have these 5 levels of leadership in their life. Level 5 leaders are at the top of the 5-level hierarchy, and they exhibit the duality of personal humility and professional will. They exhibit the duality of personal humility and professional will. Now, see, let me explain what these level 5 leaders are. Level 5 leaders build enduring greatness through a paradoxical blend of personal humility and professional will. That's just what they do. Level 4 leaders, they're effective leaders. They catalyze commitment to and a vigorous pursuit of a clear and compelling vision, stimulating higher performance standards. No, there's nothing wrong with that. But they're not level 5. They're level 4 leaders, right? They are effective, all right? Now, level 3 leaders are competent managers. They organize people and the resources toward the effective and efficient pursuit of a predetermined objective. They're competent. They can organize people to get things done, but they're competent managers. They're average. Yeah, you just say, yeah, he's competent. He's average. He can get things done. He can do that job, but they're not level 4 or level 5 yet. Then you got your level 2 leaders. These are contributing team members. See, they contribute individual capabilities to the achievement of group objectives, and they work efficiently with others in a group setting. You know those people. They're good on a team, but they're not level 5 leaders. They're good contributing team members. Now, you may be one of those people, right? Or you may know someone that's one of those people, right? There's nothing wrong with them. You don't want to stay there too long. Now let's get to the level 1 leaders. They're highly capable individuals. Now I know you know some of those people, right? They make productive contributions through their talent, through their skills, through their knowledge, and they have good work ethic. They're level 1 leaders. They're level 1 individuals. They're highly capable individuals, but they're not level 2, which is contributing team members. They're not level 3, which are competent managers. They're not level 4, which are effective leaders. And they're definitely not level 5 people who are executive types. Level 5 leaders are fanatically driven. They're infected with an incurable need to produce results. That's what you have to ask yourself. Am I one of those level 5 leaders? Am I one of those people who want to achieve results? Not just being busy, but being productive, right? Level 5 leaders have a huge ambition for their institutions, and not necessarily just for themselves. Level 5 people have huge ambitions for the people that surround them, people who they want to serve, not just for themselves. They are fanatically driven to deliver results, set exact standards, meaning daily standards, set high goals. They demonstrate an unwavering resolve and a quiet doggedness, if you will, to do whatever it takes to bring the company to greatness, to bring themselves to greatness, to bring their family to greatness, to bring their relationship to greatness. Whatever they do it up at this level up here. That's level 5. That's great. Are you there? See, level 5 leaders, level 5 people demonstrate the window and mirror syndrome. Now, we're going to talk about what that is in a second. See, when things go well, they look out the window and give credit to people around them, right? When they can't find factors to credit, they attribute their success to good luck. When things go poorly, they look in the mirror and they take responsibility internally, and they never blame bad luck. I need to make sure that you understand this. These are great leaders, great people. They demonstrate the window and mirror syndrome. Now, let me ask you this. Are you one of those people who demonstrate that window and mirror syndrome? And I'm going to explain to you again what it is, because we're going to go through it again later on. I want to make sure that you understand. See, when things go well, these level 5 leaders, they look out of the window and they give credit to people around them. And when they can't find factors to credit, they attribute it to good luck. When things go poorly, they look in the mirror and take responsibility internally, and they never blame bad luck. You see the difference? We are not looking for level 5 leaders and people in our research, is what Jim Collins said, and anything like it. But the data was overwhelming and convincing. It was an empirical, not an ideological finding of what these level 5 leaders do. Level 5 leaders put their egos aside and they focus on the company's long-term interest. Level 5 leaders, level 5 people put their egos aside and they focus on the group effort. In other words, the goal is more important than the role. You see? They demonstrated compelling modesty. They talk about the company, not themselves. They talk about their group, not themselves. They shun public praise and they're not boastful. See, they rely on inspired standards, not charisma, to motivate people. Let me say that again. They rely on inspired standards, not charisma, to motivate people. They set up successors so that the company can be great without them. You see, level 5 leaders are looking to help other people go up. Now, it's going to help you go up as well, but this is just what level 5 leaders do. By contrast, the unsustained comparison companies or people were more likely to be talented but egocentric leaders, egocentric people who produce a leap in performance that dies over time. Now, you may know those people, right? Tell me, give me a like or a heart or something if you understand what I'm saying. I just want to make sure you're getting it, because this is some good stuff. If you want to go from good to great, folks, you got to do what the great do. See, you can't say I'm great in my mind only. You got to have the actions to go with it. See, they first get the right people on the bus. That's what level 5 leaders do. The wrong people off the bus and the right people in the right seats. And then they figure out, where to drive to. They get the right people on the bus. The law of the knit says every person has a place where they add the most value. Level 5 leaders know how to put people in the right spot. Do you know how to put the right people in the right spot in your life, in your business, in what you're doing? That's what level 5 leaders do. It's important that you understand and see, great vision without great people is irrelevant. Great vision without great people is irrelevant. You see, you got to watch who you're bringing in your circle. Now, I'm gonna show you this, right? I want to make sure you get it. You got to watch who you're bringing in your circle. Watch this. Are you bringing ones and twos into your circles and running away and pushing away 8s and 9s and 10s? Meaning 1 being lowest, 10 being highest. You know what I'm saying? Are you bringing in 1s, 2s, and 3s in your circle because you're faster than them, you're stronger than them, you're better than them in terms of performance? And that's the people you want to hang around. But you're pushing the 8s and 9s and 10s away. You see, if you are, you're never going to be a level 5 leader. You're never going to be a level 4 leader. You're probably going to just get up to a level 3. So look at your circle. Who's closest to you? 1, 2s, and 3s, or 8, 9s, and 10s? You see, there's a big difference. It's a big difference. Level 5 leaders, man, they are different. They do some different things. Level 5 leaders build enduring greatness through personal humility and professional will. It's important that you understand that. Level 5 leaders. Let's talk about this personal humility, because I don't want to leave this too soon. Some of you may get it, but some people may not. Personal humility is compelling modesty, accompanies long-term interests above themselves. They set up successors. Let's say this is in your personal life. Compelling modesty, the long-term interests of people around them and not themselves. And they love to help people go to a higher level. They give other people the credit. Now, this professional will that we talk about, right, for these level 5 leaders, they're results driven. They're not just activity driven. They don't want to have 1,000 things on their calendar just to say that their calendar is full. Are you one of those people that you want to have every minute of the day filled out with busyness, but you're never getting anything done? Then you need to, hey, there's nothing wrong with it if you decide, okay, I need to reevaluate this and fix it. But if you just leave it like that, that's where the problem lies. But level 5 leaders are results driven, not activity driven. Results, productivity. Okay, they have an unwavering resolve and a quiet doggedness, right? It's not larger than life celebrities, right? They are about getting stuff done. Let's have this task and boom, let's get it done. Let me see something from it. That's what level 5 leaders are. That's what they do. That's who they are. Right? If you want to be a level 5 leader, then you got to do what they do. Are you with me? All right. So if I'm going too fast, type in the comments, slow down so you can write it down. Now, let's look at this concept that Jim talks about in the book. He calls it first who, then what. I like that. First who, then what. See, instead of setting a grand vision and a strategy, then rallying people around them, good to great leaders and companies, they get the right people on board. Then they figure out what direction they're going to go in. That's important, folks, to have the right people on your team, on your side. And then you decide, boom, what direction you're going in. Now, you already know the goal. Don't get it confused, right? You already know what the goal is because leaders see more, they see before, and they see farther than everybody else. So you already see that. But then you got to get the right people on board, and then you, boom, take off. Right? So first who, then what? Now, I'm just going to type that in the comments, right? Because I haven't seen anyone type that yet, and I know that's good. First who, then what? Right? Because I know most of you haven't seen that before yet, but I'll type it in the comments so you can get it. First who, then what? The right people, then the direction and the strategy. See, level 5 leaders first focus on finding the right people, A-type people, A-team players who make a conscious decision to take on the challenges. Then they develop the strategy. And let me give you an example. David Maxwell, who's the CEO of Fannie Mae, held back on his strategy until his team was in place, despite the pressure from the board. And even though the company was $56 billion with a B, folks, $1 billion in debt and losing $1 million each day, he said, no. We got to get the right people on board. Then we can develop the strategy. See, because having a great strategy, but don't have the people who can carry it out, it's just like not having a strategy at all. And here's what happens. By contrast, folks, the companies, comparison companies focus first on setting their vision and getting all this stuff in place. Then they put people on in the roadmap, and their leaders may be individually talented, but tend to enlist helpers rather than develop strong executive. The model falls apart when the leaders leave. You see, you have to have solid 8s, 9s, and 10s on your team to make it happen. When you don't, it falls apart when the leader leaves because the leader's the only one that's holding it up. This happens in your life as well. You have to have the right people around you to help carry out your strategy, your plan. See, there's no evidence to support the idea that a certain structure of executive compensation is going to help you go from good to great. So it's not about just the money, folks. It's not just about the money. It's about having the skill and the will and the ability and the knowledge and all of those things wrapped up together and having that solid team. You know, the law of Mount Everest says as the challenge escalates, the need for teamwork elevates, but you got to have the right people on board in order to make that happen. Now, let me just say something about compensation, because obviously the right compensation helps to get the right, can help to get the right people on board, right? And keep them there. However, once you have the right executives, the right people in your circle, their behaviors aren't depending on compensation model. Their behaviors are not dependent on the compensation model. Their own drive for excellence will ensure that they do the best that they can for you and for your company, for your organization. That's what's more important, folks. It's not about how you compensate an executive, in which executives you have to compensate in the first place, right? It's about getting the people that have the same drive. They believe what you believe. They just think different thoughts. And they're looking to go where you're going. Good to great people, good to great companies, good to great organizations exercise rigorousness in people-related decisions and in building a superior executive team, in building a team around you, whether you're building a mastermind, whether you're building just a small circle, inner circle to help you go to another level. They exercise this rigorousness in selecting the right people and in building this team around you, right? And they don't carry out endless restructuring nor ruthless swinging of the axe, right? Meaning firing and laying off people here and then keep bringing in new people and firing and laying off and then bringing in new people and firing and laying off, bringing in. No, Level 5 leaders don't do that. Good to great companies don't do that. Here's the data says that layoffs were used 5 times more frequently in companies who are not good compared to companies which are great. You got to have the right people in the right place, and the right people will do the right things, and they'll deliver the best results they're capable of, regardless of the incentive plan. Now, you either have to believe it or you don't. And in the book Good to Great, if you haven't read it, you need to get it. Jim Collins identifies 3 practical principles for this rigorness, right? When in doubt, don't hire. Keep looking. Oh man, that is a good one right there. I need to put that in the comments. When in doubt, I need to put that in there. Don't hire. Keep looking. I need to get me an admin so that they can put these comments in here for me. Anybody looking for it to be an admin, come on over here. So when in doubt, don't hire. Keep looking. Grow at a pace in which your company can attract enough of the right people. Everybody that wants to be on board may not be right for you. You have to be selective in that process. When in doubt, don't hire. Keep looking. The second one to principle to demonstrate this rigorousness is, if you need to make people changes, do it. If you need to make people changes, do it. Obviously, it's best to have the right person in the right seat at the very beginning. But at top leadership positions, at top management positions, good to great companies, good to great people show a bipolar pattern. People either stay for a long time or they leave quickly if there's no fit. Right? Now, here's how to assess if someone should be on the team or not. You got to ask these questions. Would you hire this person again? Uh-oh. Now you're going to think, would you hire this person again? The second question you ask yourself when you're evaluating this person be on the team is, if the person were to leave, would you be disappointed or relieved? Uh-oh. Now, I tell you what, folks, that's some good questions right there. Thank you, TK. I see you over there taking notes for me. I appreciate that. So to assess if the person should be on your team, if that person should be in your inner circle, here are 2 questions you need to ask. Would I hire this person again is the first question. And then number 2, if the person were to leave, would you be disappointed or relieved? That's a good question, folks. I'm just telling you, that's a good question. If you've not done it before, if you've not tried that before, if you've not asked yourself these 2 questions before, boom, you need to write these down and ask yourself that. The third way to assess, the third practical principle of this rigorousness is, put your best people on your biggest opportunities, not on your biggest problems. See? Put your best people on your biggest opportunities, not on your biggest problems. But if you sell off your problems, don't sell off your best people. It's just that simple, folks. Jim Collins was very good in this book, right? First who, then what? Let's just recap. First who, then what? Then we're going to go to the next one. Right? First who, then what? First, get the right 18 players on board, then set the strategy. Be rigorous, not ruthless about the people. Be rigorous, not ruthless about the people. When in doubt, don't hire, keep looking. Change people if you know you should, and put your best people on your biggest opportunities, not on your biggest problems. You see, that's what the great companies do. That's what the great individuals do. You hire smart people and you let them tell you what to do. You hire great people and you put them on your biggest opportunity, because then they can take that opportunity and maximize it. They can give you compound earnings on that opportunity, compound growth on that opportunity, rather. Now, Let's go on to the next one. The next one is, I'm going to tell you about these three simple truths, right? The first two, then what approach works because of three simple truths. Then we'll go to the next one. Beginning with who rather than what means that people are not on board because of a specific direction. That means that it's easier to adapt to external changes and switch directions if necessary. The second truth is the right people are already intrinsically motivated to produce the best results and to be a part of something great. There's no issues of people management or motivation to deal with those people because they're already on board because they are high achievers. That's what they do. Number three is if you have the wrong people, you cannot succeed even if you have the best direction. That's the killer one right there, folks. That's the knockout punch. Right? If you have the wrong people, you cannot succeed, even if you have the best direction. You got to understand that, folks. And that's whether it's in your business or in your personal life. Imagine you're married to the wrong person. It's not going to be successful. It's going to be hell every day, every night. Okay? Got to remember, I'm going to give you an example. Here's a story of a man and woman, and they were in this argument, and neither one of them wanted to give in. They were giving each other the silent treatment. Well, the husband knew that he realized that the next morning he was going to have to wake up early at 5 a.m. to catch an early flight. But he didn't want to he didn't want to lose that argument. So what did he do? He wrote a note to his wife and said, hey, wake me up at 5 a.m. And he put the note where he knew his wife would see it. But see, he didn't want to talk first because he was going to lose that argument, see? So he just put a note where he knows she would see it. Well, the wife, she said, okay, all right, no problem. Well, we can both play this game. So what did she do? She go to bed at night, and they slept good that night. And the husband got up the next morning, and he realized it was 9 a.m. So he missed his flight. He was furious, and he said, oh my God, where is this lady at? So he he got ready to get up and go to see where his wife was to ask her why she didn't wake him up. He saw a note sitting on his nightstand. And here's what the note said. It's 5 a.m. Wake up. See, folks, if you have the wrong people, the wrong person, you cannot succeed. Some of you is going to take you a little while to get that one, but that's okay. All right. So the next concept is confront the brutal facts. Confront the brutal facts. You see, sometimes we are afraid to have confrontation. Confront the brutal facts, yet never lose faith. See, good to great companies, good to great people don't pursue a vision. They don't just pursue a vision. They constantly refine their path with brutal facts. And they have two types of disciplined thought. The first one is they face the brutal facts in all decisions. They don't bury their head in the sand. Are you a person that like to bury your head in the sand? You know what's happening, but you refuse to believe. You know that you're overspending, but you don't want to address it. You know that you're going to have an overdraft, but you don't want to address it. You know, but you don't want to address it. Good to great companies face the brutal facts in all their decisions. Number two is they apply a simple but insightful frame of reference. And it's called the Hedgehog Concept in all decisions. Yes, leadership is about vision, but leadership is equally about creating a climate where the truth is heard and the brutal facts are confronted. You have to confront the brutal facts. See, good to great leaders create an environment where the truth, again, can be heard. By contrast, larger than life charismatic leaders can become a liability if the focus is on them rather than true realities. You know those leaders, right? They're bigger than life. They're very charismatic. They're out there, outspoken and all this type stuff, but they're not facing the brutal facts. Now, there are 4 basic practices that you have to use to achieve a climate of truth. And a climate of truth is important in all areas of your life. In business, sometimes leaders don't want to hear the truth, but you have to be willing to tell the truth. They say truth is going to set you free, but you have to be willing to tell the truth so that people get it. 4 basic principles to achieve a climate of truth. Number 1, lead with questions, not with answers. See, those leading from good to great realize that they do not have all the answers. They ask the right questions that lead to the best possible insights and solutions and outcomes. They use informal meetings without agendas to allow realities to surface. See, it doesn't have to be all formalized all the time. They lead with questions, not with answers. Number 2 of these 4 basic principles to achieve a climate of truth, they engage in dialogue and debate and not coercion. Oh, now that's a different one. Some leaders are afraid. I remember working for a VP that was afraid of dialogue and debate. He always wanted to have it his way. He didn't really want the truth. He just wanted to hear what he wanted to hear. Engage in dialogue and debate, not coercion. Good to great companies have intense dialogue, and their strong executives debate and fight aggressively to find the best solutions, to find the best answers, to get the best outcomes. Yet, because of this process, they will unify fully behind a decision. Unless you have a leader who's not willing to accept that. They just want to know it's their way. We just called it GA way, and we knew that you just let GA do what he wanted. That was just the way it was. Didn't matter what the outcome was. It was going to be whatever he wanted. You got to engage in dialogue and debate, not coercion. The number 3 is you have to conduct autopsies without blame. Oh, man. Conduct autopsies without blame. This supports understanding and learning and creates a climate where the truth is heard. This is where organizations go from good to great. Right on this one right here. Conduct autopsies without blame. You don't have to blame your team for everything that goes wrong. Number 4. Build red flag mechanisms. See, good to great companies do not have more information than comparison companies, but they paid attention to the crucial information. They pay attention to crucial information. See, the red flag concept means turning information into feedback that cannot be ignored. Oh, man. I know a lot of organizations right now today that need this red flag mechanism in their business. And let me say it again, just so that if you just tune in, you get the red flag concept means turning information into feedback that cannot be ignored. That's some good stuff right there. That's some really good stuff right there. You need that in your life, folks. Now, let me wrap up on this concept of, which is number 3, conduct the brutal facts, yet never lose faith. In the book, Jim Collins talks about this Stockdale paradox. He says, confront the most brutal facts to your current reality, whatever they might be, and retain unwavering faith that you will prevail in the end. So confront the facts, the most brutal, honest facts that you can. This customer is not going to buy from us because of this, this, and this. Now, we can work on fixing that, but we must embrace that. And then retain unwavering faith that you will prevail in the end. If you address these things that the customer has, you can't keep saying, we're not going to do this for this customer and expect them to change their mind. You got to create a climate of truth. I'm going to wrap up on this. Lead with questions, not answers. Engage in dialogue and debate and not coercion. Conduct autopsies without blame and build red flag mechanisms, not blind optimism. Build red flag mechanisms, not blind optimism. Woo! Man, this stuff gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Collins put some stuff in here. And let me tell you what, this is some good stuff. Now let's talk about this. I mentioned earlier the hedgehog concept. Let's talk about that a little bit. See, this idea is built on the concept of the Greek parable, the hedgehog and the fox. See, the fox pursues many ends and sees the world as complex and is scattered and diffused, right? The hedgehog conversely simplifies the world into a single idea or principle that guides everything it does. See, good to great companies demonstrate a strategic difference in two areas. They build their strategies on a deep understanding of the three circles. What are we deeply passionate about? What can we be best in the world at? And what drives your economic engine? Let me say that again. See, good to great companies demonstrate a specific difference in two areas. They build their strategies on a deep understanding of the three circles. What are we passionate about? What can we be best at in the world? And what drives your economic engine? Ooh. The second thing is they identify a simple crystalline concept that guides all their efforts. They are laser focused. So if your business is selling t-shirts, boom, they're laser focused on having the best t-shirts possible. If your focus is leadership development, then you're focused on that. If your focus is youth, then your focus is that. You're laser focused on that, not on a whole bunch of other stuff. See, McDonald's, when you go to McDonald's, you know you're going to get hamburgers, right? That's what their main focus and priority is. Yeah, they have other things, but when McDonald's opens their doors, they know that their main focus is to have those burgers. Now let's dive a little bit farther into the hedgehog concept around these three circles that I talked about. What can what you can be the best at, the best in the world at, right? See, a hedgehog concept is not a goal, it's not a strategy, it's not an intention, it's not a plan to be the best. It is an understanding of what you can be the best at. I need to say that again because that is an important part of this. So what you can be the best in the world at, this hedgehog concept is not a goal. It is not a strategy. It's not an intention. It's not a plan to be the best. It is an understanding that what you can be the best at. It is equally important to know what you cannot be the best at in this world. See, it requires transcending the curse of competence, just because something is your core business doesn't mean you can be the best at it. You see what I'm saying? Just because something is your core business does not mean you can be the best at it. The third circle is what drives your economic engine. You know where the money resides. See, good to great companies discover the one denominator, profit per X, that impacts their economics most significantly, where X could be an employee, geographic region, a customer, a consumer brand. What drives your economic engine? You know what that is. And the third circle is, what are you deeply passionate about? It is not about stimulating passion, but discovering what makes you passionate, what makes you be productive, whether that's your product, whether that's your industry, what the company stands for, all of those things. What are you deeply passionate about? See, I know I'm deeply passionate about adding value to people every day, primarily youth. I'm passionate about that. You have to understand in your business or in anything you do, what is it that you're deeply passionate about? That's important. Now, getting clarity on this hedgehog concept is a iterative process, and it takes time, meaning it's going to take you a little time to get it and to work it and to be good at it. The good to great companies took about 4 years on average to crystallize this concept, right? Yet when they find it, it has a quiet, obvious truth to it. It's sort of like it's finding your purpose, finding your passion. When you find it, boom, it hits you, and boom, man, you start running. And nobody can be better than you at that. The process involves repeating these 4 steps over and over and over again, guided by those 3 circles. See, a useful device is to use the council, a standing body, meaning a group of people, a mastermind, 5 to 12 people that are the right people to help you. And they meet periodically to debate and perform this iterative steps, right? Questions, debate and dialogue, autopsies and analysis, executive decisions. Questions, debate and dialogue, autopsies and analysis, executive decisions. Questions, debate and dialogue and debate, autopsies and analysis, executive decision. It's a circle that just repeats itself over and over and over again. You see, some people try to leave that circle too soon. Are you one of those people who want to leave too soon? See, when you get your hedgehog concept right, it has a quiet ping of truth to it. There's no need to say much of anything anymore. The quiet truth speaks for itself. It's sort of like when you find your purpose and your passion, folks. It just happens that way. And let me tell you what, when you do, when you find it, man, it's awesome. You got to have this culture of discipline, though. Most successful startups don't grow into great companies. Most successful startups don't grow into great companies because as they grow, they start to introduce bureaucracy and rules to make up for incompetence and a lack of discipline. I know some organizations that are like that. They've had some success in their early years, but then they start putting in all these rules and introduce bureaucracy and they just, rules are made for incompetence. Okay, that's what it's for. And a lack of discipline. And then they don't become great companies. They just become good. And they may be a little better than average, but they don't become great because they put in this bureaucracy and make up all these rules for a lack of incompetence and a lack of discipline. See, to avoid bureaucracy, hierarchy, and excessive controls, you have to instill a culture of discipline. Through disciplined people, thoughts, and actions. And when you combine those things together, boom, it creates a great performance. Jim Collins had it right. See, when you combine a culture of discipline with an ethic of entrepreneurship, you get the magic of great performance. But when you start introducing bureaucratic rules and bureaucracy rather, and rules and processes to lock people up, you never become great. I don't care who you are, don't care how much money you make, you'll never be great. You'll be known as the good companies, but not great. It's just the way it is, folks. It's just the way it is. Let's keep going here. I know I'm not going to have time to go through all of them here, but the next one is a culture of discipline. And we did kind of talk about that. I'm going to wrap up on this culture of discipline. No need for red tape and bureaucracy. A culture of discipline plus ethic of entrepreneurship equals great performance. Freedom and responsibility within your framework is what you need, right? Hire only self-disciplined people. Have a culture of discipline and not tyrannical disciplinarians and fanatical adherence. You have to have fanatical adherence to the hedgehog concept. And the last one is technology accelerators. You got to think differently about technology. Technology as accelerators, not creators of momentum. They help you speed up the process. They help you accelerate your momentum. They help you go faster from point A to point Z. Be pioneers of carefully selected technologies that fit your culture. Don't respond to technology fads or jump on a bandwagon. It means you got to be decisive. You have to be able to discern which one. See, technology is accelerators, not creators of your momentum. And let me tell you what, 80% of the good to great executives, good to great people, good to great companies do not consider technology as one of the top 5 factors in their transformation. Technology cannot ignite transformation. They can only accelerate momentum. I'm going to say that again because it's important. 80% of the good to great executives, good to great people, good to great companies do not consider technology as one of the top 5 factors of transformation. See, transformation makes change. Transformation gives you aha moments. What it does is it helps you to accelerate momentum. Good to great companies carefully select the technology that they adapt. Right? If the technology fits directly with their hedgehog concept, they adopt it fully and become pioneers in the application of that technology. Let me say that again. If it fits within the hedgehog concept, they adopt it fully, not halfway, not 3/4 of the way, not partially, fully, and then become pioneers in the application of that technology. Technology by itself technology is by itself never a primary or root cause of either greatness or decline. Okay? You got to avoid the technology traps. Good to great companies do not focus on technology as that key factor. They do not respond to technology fads, nor do they jump on a bandwagon. Rather, they focus single-mindedly on the hedgehog concept. Let me go back to that. I told you we're going to talk about this all night. And you got to use technology as merely one of the tools and the drivers to accelerate results. There's a difference. You need to understand that. You got to crawl, walk, run, and be very effective. It can be a very effective approach even during times of rapid and radical technological change. Crawl, walk, run can be a very effective approach, even during times of rapid and radical technological change. It's important that you understand that, folks. You must understand that. Good to great comes about by a cumulative process, step by step, action by action, decision by decision, turn by turn of the flywheel that adds up to sustained and spectacular results. Man, I love that. I got to say that again, folks. Good to great comes by cumulative process, step by step, action by action, decision by decision, turn by turn of the flywheel that adds up to sustained and spectacular results. Whoo, man, this is some good stuff. I sure hope you got something from this tonight, because I'm telling you what, folks, if you implement these things in your process, in your business, in your life, it can be in your financial life as well. It changes everything about you. It can change everything about your company. It can change everything about your business. Going from good to great is built to last. It's not a concept. It's not a fad. The good to great ideas lay the groundwork to bring a company, to bring a person from the startup to a sustained great results, while built to last ideas take it beyond to become an enduring company with an iconic stature. It's just the way it is. So the key difference here is that with the flywheel already having gathered momentum, visionary companies emerge when they can develop core values and a process beyond profits, and can constantly preserve their core while stimulating progress. Visionary companies, folks, emerge when they develop core values and a purpose beyond profits, and they can constantly preserve their core while stimulating progress. It's just what happens. Now you have to either accept that or say, you know what, we're never going to be one of those good to great companies. We're never going to be one of those good to great companies. Level 5 leaders are disciplined people. Level 4 leaders are disciplined people. Level 3 and level 3 and 4. Hold on a second here. Level 5 leaders are disciplined people. Level 4 leaders have disciplined thoughts, and level 1 leaders have disciplined actions. Where are you in this? Where are you? See, I want to be one of those level 5 leaders because I'm working on breakthroughs. I'm working on building something great. You have to be willing to be one of those people who's a disciplined person. Get on this flywheel, combining all of the stuff that we talked about tonight to make a difference in your life and in the life of your business. Visionary companies emerge when they can develop core values and a purpose beyond profits, and they constantly preserve their core while sustaining progress. That's really what I want to leave you with tonight, folks. It's just some good stuff. I hope that somebody, whether you're watching this live or you're watching a replay, you get something out of this. Every time I come on, I want to help you understand how to be a level 5 leader, folks, and how to live your life, go from ordinary to extraordinary. The only difference between ordinary and extraordinary is extra. And don't come on telling me that the word is extraordinary, because I know that. I'm smart enough to know that, but I don't like that word. I like extraordinary. The only difference between winning and losing is belief. Just a little bit of belief. The only difference between hot water and boiling water is 1 degree. At 211 degrees, water is hot. At 212 degrees, water boils. With boiling water comes steam. With steam, you can power a train. The only difference between a person reaching their full potential and not reaching their full potential is desire. If you have the desire to go from good to great, you can. If you have the belief that you can go from good to great in your personal life, in your business, in your relationship, in anything, then you can. You just have to be willing to use the concepts and the principles that we talked about tonight. You need to put them to work in your life. That's what you need to do, folks. You don't need to call a doctor. You don't need to call a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or anybody else. You just need to be able to put the concepts and the principles in place in your life and do the things that's necessary. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight for another version of Talk Leadership with Cedrick. You know, everybody needs a little TLC in their life, and I am Cedrick LaFleur. I'm so excited that you were here tonight. Hopefully you got something from this. I'm going to see you next week. In fact, I'm going to see you on Thursday night for Talk Leadership with Cedrick Thursday edition this week. Ooh, man, I have a good show planned for you. So remember, as I always tell you, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu, and don't be on the menu. Thank you guys, and Good night.